now looking back, I realized I was looking for a partner that was stable because I was not stable. I was not grounded, so I was looking for a partner that was more grounded because I was, floating around for perhaps, I don't know.
Here's another admission. You're gonna, it's reveal day, and there were so many things that I couldn't explain, but it was just like, I don't. It's one of those things where like, I don't know what it is, but I know it when I feel it. And
This is so much. This explains so much. The tango journey, as you know, is very long and continuous, never ends. But it is interesting how our preferences evolve. And what I mean by that is that when you first start dancing, you kind of have a feeling like, oh, I like dancing with this kind of type of dancer, whether that's light and fluid, and that's usually the case, right? You prefer someone that moves quickly, moves fast, has a fast reaction time. And in the beginning, I feel like most dancers, especially leaders, they prefer a follower that's quick on their feet, that moves fast. As you get more experienced, your preferences tend to change. And it's not necessarily that it goes in one direction and stays there. It can actually flip-flop and change directions many times. But we want to use this video to talk about just the evolution of our preferences when we first started to how it is now. So were you like me, Rob, where you just kind of like in the beginning, just someone who just moves and someone who's there and it's like, it's easy. They kind of like, I don't need to do much. They already know. They're like, I think right, and they're already going right.
This is actually really interesting because like I kind of went in many different directions. I really liked just the way a follower made me feel. Like I felt. I guess I didn't really care about their response time, but I landed on a gold mine by accident.
What?
Yeah, because my whole thing was okay. I take these classes, then I started going to Malanga.
Yeah.
And I just want to get my dances out there, right? And of course, I wasn't chasing after the youngest girl because there's a big line, and I was very much like, hey, what's the best way to get out there? Well, dance with the people who aren't dancing,
Right.
who are sitting out. And I was really lucky that a lot of these ladies who were sitting out were really, really good. They were
That's
super
what you mean.
experienced.
Yeah.
So I landed on a gold mine, like just inadvertently,
Yeah.
Like I was like I didn't know any better. I was just like,
They're sitting out. Let me go ask them.
Yeah, and they were super nice, and so on the get-go, I got that warm, cozy embrace feeling, and it was something that hit me where I wasn't thinking about moves as much anymore, and I was just thinking like, wow, this feels great. I don't know what it is, but this is amazing. I want to chase it, and there were so many things that I couldn't explain, but it was just like, it's one of those things where like, I don't know what it is, but I know it when I feel it. And
This is so much. This explains so much.
Oh, like about what? Just me or what?
It's just the tango journey for both of us.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like putting all the pieces together.
And like so that's the thing. Cause like I didn't go the enrosque and like figures route until later when I wanted to go into competition, and then I was like, okay, then I kind of abandoned that whole good feeling thing, but I was chasing this good feeling thing for a long time because it made me feel good, and I'm like, this is why I don't know what it is, but this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to feel like and everything. So that's what I chased, and that's what I got a lot of.
That's interesting because I think a lot of people would categorize me as that dancer right now, but I started as the movement dancer. Like when I first started, I was like, oh, it wasn't about necessarily feeling good, but the movement feeling good. Not necessarily the dance, but actually movement feeling good. And so obviously one of my first partners was Rochelle, and Rochelle at the time was very movement oriented. And so she pretty much taught me that, the feeling of the movement, no matter what we do, it doesn't change, right? So if I do an enrosque or I do this kind of ocho thing, like for her, it's just movement. Movement is movement. And so I was always kind of just chasing like, oh, what's the next movement we can do? I was trying to figure out the enrosque early on. I was trying to figure out how to do, these like fancy planeos and sequences first. But the funny thing is, even though I was searching for the movement thing, I wasn't a figure guy like you were, which is so interesting, because I wasn't interested in finding sequences or memorizing patterns. I was interested in unlocking my own sequences within myself and my partner. And so that's kind of what drove me in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I think, being a figures junkie, what it really was again, this is pure luck. And I'm going to say pure luck, because you would think a person who's a figures junkie would just really go into people who want to do more boleos, more crazy stuff. And yes, that's kind of what I was going for. And I memorized all these figures, did all these things, practiced all this stuff. But a lot of it was so I had the confidence of thinking that I'm not boring.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But ultimately, so I would do all these things, to get dances, but the dances I was going for felt good. So after a while, I entered into that realm where it was just because everyone always said, "Oh, tango's all about the embrace, right?" And I subscribed to that to the point where, like, yes, it's all about the embrace. It makes me feel good. I'm chasing it.
Yeah.
But I felt that I still need to know all these figures to stay interesting enough for the ladies to say yes for my dances.
I see.
So it's a little, it's a roundabout way of getting there.
That's funny because I had Rochelle, who was movement oriented. I never felt like I needed those things, because to me, whenever I asked her like, "Oh, what about this?" It's like, "Oh, it's just another move." It's like, so I wasn't like, "Oh, I didn't feel like I need all these fancy things to excite or entertain my partner," because I was doing those things. It's just like, "Oh, it's whatever. Like, it's just a movement." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I didn't have a partner.
Yeah,
so
that's true. I know.
So I had to go out there. It was like I was selling used Bibles to all these people. I'm like, hey, here you are. Want to dance? So it's very different when you don't have a partner, because you're always out there trying to sell yourself. And I think that's what in my head, that's what I was trying to do, is sell myself. But I was trying to sell myself just so that I can get this nice, cozy embrace, not realizing that the best way to get a nice, cozy embrace is to start with a nice, cozy embrace. Yeah. So, it's, again, it's a roundabout way of getting the goods.
Because Rochelle felt so light and quick and movement oriented, I was constantly in search on how to be more grounded, more strong, and more dense. That was the longest thing. I preferred followers that had that, because I was just dancing with Rochelle so much, and she was just like so fast and moving. And I was like, oh, to feel like because obviously now looking back, I realized I was looking for a partner that was stable, because I was not stable. I was not grounded. So I was looking for a partner that was more grounded. Because I was, floating around for perhaps, I don't know.
Here's another admission. You're gonna, it's reveal day, right? So this is how bad I am. I didn't so one of my problems is that sometimes I get into this whole, when I get into esoteric societies where I feel that tango is an esoteric society.
Yeah.
This
known
whole,
by a few, kind of this,
Yeah, but at the same time, we use words we use words to describe things, and many times there's not enough context out there. But we just go around parroting things.
Yeah.
And I would say that I probably didn't know what grounded really means until maybe 5-6 years in.
Sure, that's everybody. That's everybody.
But everyone's like, you gotta be grounded. I'm sure. And you go around I gotta be grounded.
I'm grounded. But I feel the floor.
Oh no, I didn't get that to me. Feel the floor was I don't know what.
Yeah, we just keep repeating these common phrases, right?
Yeah, I
connect with your partner.
Oh my God, that's the one that's the one that really bugs me, because it's
feel the connection.
Feel the energy. I was okay. I really hate foo-foo language, and what I mean, it's like this airy-fairy stuff, because I didn't have enough context
Sure.
to actually get there. And so, yeah, it's a tough journey because I think if you're secure enough to look foolish or feel foolish in front of your peers, that will do a lot better. Like just best advice I would say is like, hey, we're all idiots. Go ahead and be an idiot because you're going to learn something, you know. And I think I started off my journey with this fear of looking stupid in front of everybody. So I would continue to parrot this stuff without knowing what it really meant.
Sure.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, everyone says connection, right? And like, I got connection. You got
Disassociate.
yeah. I mean,
You're just not disassociating. Oh God.
you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you know, going back to the topic of like the evolution of what we're trying to find in
A partner.
yeah,
or a dance partner.
yeah, or yeah, just our preferences. Like, I think I've always chased this good feeling because it was something I've never felt before. It's not like I go around. I wouldn't say I'm a hobby like a physical.
Well, when you say
physically
good feeling, I think several people are going to be confused because there's a good feeling and a feeling in the sense that you're moving together, or good in a feeling that you feel like, you're like embracing
yeah, no, that's the one. Like,
Okay, well, those are two different sensations and
yeah,
feelings. Yeah.
Okay, so because I don't hug a lot, you know, and it was maybe this is me just making up for lost time, but it was just the whole hugging feeling that made me feel it was really warm and inviting, and I was chasing that, and it wasn't until later, like way down the line, that I started looking for like good feeling and movement because I never was dynamic enough to generate movement to actually know what feeling good in movement was. So I would say like that feeling good in movement, I probably didn't catch till maybe like 2 years ago. You know, because I was just Mr. like Snuggle Shuffle. You know?
Snuggle shuffle.
Yeah, the Snuggle Shuffle. You know, because I bought into the propaganda.
I wouldn't say it's propaganda.
Well, I call it propaganda. You know, that's just me. It's the marketing of the whole like, oh, you know, milonguero style is this, and you know, this is the way you dance. Like Tango's all about the feel, and you go and you know, and you don't need all this big stuff. You dance all small.
Well, I subscribe to that too.
Yeah, and well, I used to subscribe to that, and now I've gone the opposite direction. Like I'm like I want to be big. I want to, you know, that's who I am now, but.
It could change in
yeah, 3 months from now. You know, hey, what's the flavor of the month today? But yeah, but it's interesting because for me it was just this feeling of affection that I got from the embrace that I didn't feel a lot before. So it's like something that was lacking in my life that I was chasing.
new sensations.
Yeah. And also it just felt like it was just something that, not just a new sensation, but it was just something that was missing in my life. You know, it's like, this is the thing that could fill the void of my life. You know?
I see. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I think a lot of guys chase that too because, you know, especially in this society, I don't think we're a very huggy culture.
No, we've said this up before. It's just. Yeah, we're keep our distance, listen to our own headphones, watch our smartphones, distance.
Yeah, so definitely chasing that. Yeah. So here's an interesting thing. So like, do you think that's like the baseline where everyone starts? Everyone starts with the whole the huggy feeling,
No.
or do they, or where do you think they start?
I think they start at trying to find the crazy flashy movements first. Honestly, I think that's what most people start with or try to find. Because I feel like most people feel like they need their definition of being advanced is to do more moves, is to know more things.
Yeah.
That's their understanding of being a more advanced dancer. If I know more things, if I know more combinations, if I know more sequences, if I know more figures, I will be more of an advanced dancer because my toolbox will be endless because I can do, hiro to rosques, to sacadas, back sacadas, front boleos, back boleos, colgadas, volcada, like all these things. They think that means I am advanced dancer. And you're not wrong, because if you look at like a workshop schedule, what is mostly? It's like a gancho's boleo workshop, it's like Sakata's workshop, it's like, so it kind of makes sense because that's what's sold.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, but I think, I agree with you, but I think that comes from like the leader's perspective, I mean, so, because remember when I first started, I was like Mr. Anti-embellishment. In a sense, if you're talking about like all the flashy moves and everything, the followers' flashy moves are all those embellishments. So, in a sense, like I did that for myself. So I'm like Mr. Hypocrite here. Like I like all the flashy moves are for me. Right?
What? Why?
No, because it's like that's what I learned. Like in the beginning, it's like that's what I learned. I want to do the enrosque, I want to do all this like flashy move, right? But I didn't want the follower to have her flashy move. So like in terms of my preference, I preferred someone who is more simple, so I could be more flashy.
Oh, so this is another evolution of our preferences.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I think.
Like it's what we do versus what we look for to complement.
Yeah, I think every leader goes through a phase where, it's kind of nice where I give you an opening and you take it to do your little things.
Yeah.
And then I think when you get a little bit more advanced, you're just like, listen, I got it. I can steer the ship just fine now. Thank you very much. You don't need to grab the wheel at any time. And then you go back to like, all right, well, maybe here, you take the wheel and I'll watch for a little bit. Like, I think it does evolve.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Right? Because I went through that phase where it's just like Rochelle was just such a master at just like following every little thing that I did. At one point, it was just like, can you help me out here and do something? Like, add something. I only have this. Like, add something else, and I'll react or I'll adapt. Mm-hmm. But then, as you get older, I think as you get more advanced and you realize and you have more control, you don't need that anymore as much.
Yeah. So what do you look for now in a follower? What, like, being an accomplished person, an accomplished dancer, what do you look for now?
Honestly, I truly respect people that are truly present. I think that's the greatest, number one thing I can find in any dance partner is to be completely present with me.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean like, follow all my demands and control. It actually means be supremely like present in the sense that you can fully enjoy and commit that if I stand here and move slowly to the violin part in my body, that you will go with it and totally enjoy that feeling as well. And not be like, all right, what are we doing here? But actually be there, right, with me.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I find so valuable, because if someone's truly present, you have all the options at your disposal. You can stop on a dime, turn, and then try and unlock other things that you've never done before because they're totally present with you. Like, what if I go left here and then a pivot here that I never do, right? You can unlock things that's totally present. Someone who's not present, they just like, oh yeah, this is left and then hero and then whatever, ocho here. And then you can't create something truly genuine or new because they already on that autopilot mode that you said before, which where they're just not present because like, oh, their body is so aware of it. So now you have to conquer that thing where your body is so used to doing this thing, but if you're truly present, it doesn't matter if your body's done that thing 1,000 times, right? If I lead 999 ochos, you should be ready on the number 1,000 to be ready. Like, it's not going to be it's a front boleo, back, like that, right? You're so present. You do it 999 times in a row. It's like 998, 999, like another ocho, and then, ready for a front boleo, right? That's present. That's truly present.
Yeah, no, I get you there. And that's something that I appreciate also, but I think I'm not too sure what kind of presence I'm looking for now. I do agree that I'm looking for more presence, for someone to be more present with me. And I feel like who I like dancing with now are either beginners or super seasoned dancers. Like,
Interesting.
yeah, because like I like dancing with beginners because I feel like they don't have enough vocabulary to kind of like stray off and do whatever. Like, so they're just really attentive to me and like, hey, what are you doing? What are you leading? I'm like, I don't know enough, so like all eyes are on me, kind of a thing.
Oh.
So they're so in that sense, I feel like they're very present with me. They might not have they might be inexperienced, but I feel like we're still together.
Sure.
And but I feel like when people get to this like maybe 3 to 7 year mark, that's when like the vocabulary starts entering in their space and they're like trying to second like.
There comes the back ballet.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
Or they've memorized the choreography from all the classes and now they're
Autocross.
Yeah, whatever it is, or they learn their embellishments. So like then it's like they're so focused on their own vocabulary or what's going on that they stop becoming present, and now to me it just feels like I'm just, I'm just there for them to support them, like I'm just holding them up while they do whatever.
Yeah.
And then there comes a time when they kind of do a 180 and go, oh yeah, it felt really good when I was present. No, because like I do the same stuff also. I had to go on the deep end, be a dirt bag, and then
come back.
Yeah, then come back and be like sorry, sorry, I'm back. Like I'll be good, I promise. It's true. At least it is for me.
I mean, a really good beginner, you often hear this phrase, I don't know what I'm doing. I love that phrase. Yes, you don't know what you're doing, but you're in the moment. Like you're following it, you're like present, and you don't know what you're doing because your body is doing it. You don't have to think about it. And I feel like you get to a point, and you find a lot of dancers get to this point where like they know and they interpret, they understand, and so they assume instead of being present. So that's a downside.
Yeah, definitely.
The next level, which I think you were about to cover, which is the really super pro advanced dancers where they know, but now they also can add something onto it and still make it good and still be present, which is the next level.
Yeah, and then
which is like they know exactly what you're about to do and they can prepare to change it on a dime, but they know like this is what it feels like you're going for and they're going to commit completely to it.
Yeah, and I think it is what I'm going for, but also we could actually then have this dialogue where they could actually disagree with me and still make something beautiful out of it.
Right.
I think there's this big problem that, especially as leads, we have this idea that people need to be compliant with us. Like I'm the authority. I say, you do, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time agreeing with that. Like there are times there are times when people just drive me out of my mind. I'm like, just help me out here,
Yeah.
But as I get better and as they get better, as people get better, like I like this dialogue and I like going to places. Like I'll even tell people like it's okay to go to dark places. It's okay to like dance with like anger towards me. It's okay to go in the deep end and like feel anguish and feel like negative or whatever, or feel positive, whatever it is, like just feel something and be present in that and do it. Or, challenge me, hate me, whatever, disagree with me, but do something. And I think that's when we get to that kind of dialogue where it goes back and forth. It doesn't have to be like a nice dialogue. It could be a screaming match.
Sure.
But you can still make something beautiful out of that. That to me is amazing.
I like that. But yeah, let us know in the comment section, how has your preferences evolved over time? And if you're a follower, how has your dancing evolved over time in terms of your own style, in terms of how you've preferred things at first to evolve over the time span that you are now? We would love to hear your story in the comment section. But yeah, thank you so much for watching our latest video, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Left Foot, Right Foot.
We appreciate your support, and make sure you click that subscribe button and that like button. It really helps with the algorithm, and also you receive all our latest updates. Thank you.